I'm gonna read my first ever Harry Potter fanfiction today.
I really do love them. Girl,
What the actual fuck?
so much has happened.
Literally touch her and you die. What the fuck?
She almost died and he was so worried.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a way different video that I've ever done before. This is a very exciting video. I literally got so excited. I texted my girlfriend's group chat and I was like, girls, I have a silly fucking idea for a video. And they all were like, you have to do it. So blame them. If you see this different background and the fact that it's dark, it's because it's 41 degrees in Italy, so we close everything so sun doesn't come in because it's too hot. I have been feeling FOMO, okay? I'm gonna read a dramione fan fiction today. It's called Manacled. I'm sure you've heard of it. And it's probably one of the most famous fan fictions ever. Like, everyone has read it and everyone has loved it. I've never seen such positive reviews of one thing. Like, every single person that has read this has loved it. So I was feeling FOMO. I saw one TikTok of this girl was like, me before reading Manacled and me after reading Manacled, and it was her in tears, like crying so much. I love crying at books. Like, if you make me cry, you're probably gonna be one of my favorite books of all time. That's how it works for me. I wanna read this. Who's stopping me? No one. Disclaimer, I've read many fanfictions in my life, but they were all Harry Styles fanfictions when I was 13 on Wattpad. Oh, Wattpad girl. I grew up at that time. I was literally a teenager in 2014. Like, life was good, do you know what I mean? I read after when I was 13. Okay, do not judge me. Like, I've read Duplicity. Also, yeah, that's Taylor Swift. Yeah, got it. Slay. Amazing times. Yes, chapter 1. Also, apparently, heavy trigger warnings on this because there's a lot of SA happening and like harm and like death. So if SA or any of that is triggering to you, do not read Manacled. I don't think that's for you. I read all the Harry Potter books when I was like 11, 12, and I haven't read them since. But I remember them. I've obviously watched the movies every year during Christmas times, like everyone else. But I haven't read the books since, so I'm sure I'll be fine. So Manacled is if Voldemort won instead of lost. So this is the world after the war, and obviously Harry Potter is dead. Because of like the war, a lot of people died. They're trying to repopulate the world. So they use Hermione and women and girls as literally like baby machines. They're using them, they're selling them to make babies, which is horrendous and awful. I can read it to you if you want me. So Harry Potter is dead. In the aftermath of the war, in order to strengthen the might of the magical world, Voldemort enacts a repopulation effort, and Hermione Granger has an order secret, lost, but hidden in her mind. So she's sent as an enslaved surrogate to the High Reeve until her mind can be cracked. I assume the High Reeve is Draco, surely. I think it's heavily inspired by The Handmaid's Tale, which is so interesting, so I'm actually very excited to read this. This is gonna be a pretty spoiler-free reading vlog. If I ever like mention a little spoiler, I'll put it on the screen and I'll tell you, so do not worry if you haven't read it. I am so excited. I don't know why I'm so excited. So I read for a couple of hours. I'm at chapter 8. Can you see? What the actual fuck? First of all, the writing is great. Like, she is a great writer. Then I was like, why isn't this girl published? Like, why is she not publishing this? She is! Next year! She is next year! Look! She called it The Alchemist. Who are we to fight the alchemy? She's a Taylor Swift fan, for sure. Which makes so much sense because this is so good. I fear I'm hooked. So first of all, it's very sad. Like, it's actually so sad. It's heartbreaking, poor girl. So she is now at Draco's house. Draco is very enigmatic. It's quite difficult because he's acting, his words are awful, but his actions are not awful. Of course, he's done the worst thing ever, but he's doing it in a very clinical way to, I think, to make it as good as possible for her. And it looks like he's hating it just as much. In my head, he is. And I have a theory that it might be so wrong, but I feel like they knew each other before because, okay, so she has lost some of her memories. So through magic, and apparently it's her own magic, she has like shut down some memories and they're not accessible to her. So she doesn't remember her parents, she doesn't remember what happened really during the war, she doesn't remember like a good 2 years of her life. She has like moments here and there, but like the main focal points she has no clue about. So in my head, I think they knew each other before. They knew each other before, and maybe in a relationship, I don't know. And he knows and she doesn't know, obviously. But then why is he not saying anything? Maybe because her memories are accessible to Voldemort, so he doesn't want Voldemort to know that they were together. There's more, obviously there is more, like the whole thing is the fact that there's more. But in my head, they knew each other. And in my head, he's not actually doing the assault. He's like with magic, making her think that it's happening. That's why she's not allowed to look. In my head, it's not happening. I don't think he wants to get her pregnant. Does that make sense? In my head, it's not happening. For now, I don't hate him, because if he actually is doing what he's doing, then I'm gonna hate him and there's no way I'm gonna love him. But in my head, he's not making her look because it's not happening, and it's making her think that it's happening with magic. Does that make sense? Am I delusional? Probably. I just don't want to hate him already. I just don't want to hate him. Because I hate him. But like, if he's actually assaulting her, then I cannot ship them. Do you know what I mean? The writing in this is better than some published best-selling books I've read. If you like forget that it's a fan fiction and they're talking about Hermione and Draco, if they had different names, this would be great. Also, I'm not imagining Hermione and Draco as Hermione and Draco in Harry Potter. Like, I'm just, do you know what I mean? And I'm not imagining them as Emma Watson and Tom Felton. I'll see you again. I had lunch and I'm back. I'm on chapter 10 and she is starting to remember some things. Like, she has like little dreams of like scenes of like things that have happened that she doesn't remember, but she can tell that are memories, they're not dreams. Also, she is obviously very prone to panic attacks and stuff. It's so realistic. Like, the panic attacks are so realistic to read. And like her fears and what she's scared of makes so much sense, because she's obviously been isolated alone for almost 2 years in a very small space, in a cell, where no one knew she was there. She was left alone. She didn't see anyone. She is like afraid of like open spaces, because she was so like used to being like in a very small cell in silence, and now she gets overwhelmed and she gets panic attacks when she's like in a big space. And it's called agoraphobia, I'm pretty sure, because agora means square, like an open space, you know, like the town square, yeah, in Greek. How do you know that? I studied ancient Greek for 5 years. See? It gets useful here. It's quite useful to know Greek and Latin, because their spells and everything is in Latin. So I'm like, I know what that is. This poor girl being in her brain, and she's so sad. She's such a sad character. Of course she is. She lost everyone. Her sight lost the war. She hasn't got parents. She doesn't even remember them. Her best friends are all dead in front of her eyes. She saw so many people die trying to be a healer, because she was a healer during the war. And now she's literally a sex worker, technically. Like, she's been used to get pregnant and from someone that she hates, that killed her best friends. Like, that's fucking awful. And at the same time, she's getting like her brain, she keeps getting Voldemort and the healer and Draco, they keep going into her brain, and it's very painful for her. And she's been trying to kill herself multiple times, and Draco has stopped her from doing it. Yeah, but there's moments where he kind of like acts and he says stuff, and he like, you care too much. He cares too much for her to just be a surrogate. Like, he cares. He cares about her more than he cares about his wife. Oh, he has a wife. I forgot to say. He has a wife. I did not expect to like this much. I freaking love Topsy, the house elf. The house elf is so cute. She's like trying her best. It's like, you have to be ready. She's very cute. Sorry, I just needed to interrupt just to say that I fucking love Topsy. Okay, I'm back. I have read, I'd say 5 more chapters. I don't have my Kindle with me right now. It's getting good. It's getting to the part where you start noticing things from him that you're like, that looked like you cared. That looked like you cared, Draco. Don't try and trick me. There's something there. He definitely knew her before. This is a little spoiler. Skip to that if you want to skip the spoiler. When he killed the guy that tried to assault Hermione, he killed him. He spilled his freaking guts out. Literally. But he didn't give a shit when he was having a full-on affair with his wife. Literally, touch her and you die. Like, we had the trope. Touch her and you die. There's a lot of like taking care of each other. Like, if someone has an injury, he always comes in or she comes. Like, I really appreciate that. That he's like takes care of her when, you know, injures herself or like she's having a panic attack. He really like goes in and takes care of her. You can just tell he cares. Obviously she hates him, but I think as well she knows that she doesn't hate him fully. Like, of course he's doing horrible things. He's still like performing the thing that he's supposed to her. He's very clinical with it and she keeps not looking. In my head, that's not happening. I think maybe like a spell, because he doesn't want to get her pregnant. Because I like, maybe he was like on the other side of the war before. He was like a spy, like Snape. That is just a theory that I'm having. I don't know. But that would make no sense because he's the High Reeve. It's getting good. It's getting interesting. I have so many theories. I have ideas. I want to talk to someone about it. But like, who the fuck has read this fan fiction? No one. I mean, millions of people. But like, that I know, no one. The writing is exceptional. Like, the way she encaptures feelings and panic attacks and anxiety and loneliness and fear. Perfect. Like, you literally feel it in your soul. And you're like, I'm actually sad right now. I don't cry easily. So I don't think I'm gonna cry, but everyone is distraught with this book, so I'm not sure. I finished the chapters before the flashback. So I got to the first flashback, and now little spoiler, skip to that if you don't want to hear the spoiler. He had to perform the thing facing her, and that's when he threw up. So I'm sure it was not happening until then. Because the moment he started doing that and she could see him, she's pregnant now. I don't know if it proves my theory right or if I'm just I keep being delusional. I'm so excited for the flashbacks because I want to know. Because they surely knew each other. They surely knew each other. There was a little... one of my favorite tropes is one character being drunk and like confessing shit. And that happened. I love that scene. But I'm about to go to the beach, so I'm gonna read there. And we got like this little like flash of all scenes that are gonna happen in the flashbacks. When she was getting all her memories back, she was getting like random scenes and they sound so good. But I haven't cried yet. I've been upset because she's a sad character, so it's quite sad to be in her brain, but I haven't cried at all. This is the day after. I am at 35% of Manacled. I'm at the flashback 9. I mean, now you can tell that they care about each other. The classic taking care of, like, when someone is injured is one of my favorite tropes ever. And you get that multiple times in this book from both point of views. You get her taking care of him and you get him taking care of her. And so many little things that she did in before the flashbacks now make sense reading the flashbacks. There's a lot of consistency, which most times it lacks in fan fiction. It's so impressive. And yeah, I can so see this being published. I can't wait now. I'm really enjoying this. I shouldn't be reading this in public. I should not be reading this in public. We reached the smut. We did indeed reach the smut. Not like smut, but it's getting there. It is getting there. We're close. Update on Manacled. I'm on flashback number 16. We've got the first kind of like, ooh, scene. It wasn't like a full-on sex scene. It was just like, they just kissed. They were kind of drunk, so it was kind of funny. One thing that it annoys me a little bit is Hermione cries a little bit too much for me. I would like her to cry a little bit less. But then again, she's having a horrible life. So I understand. I would cry too. I cry for the smallest inconvenience. I would definitely be crying if I was in a war and everyone I knew was getting injured and dying and I was alone. Yeah, I would definitely be crying. Fair enough. I love how scenes that you get in the dreams in the first half of the book, and you get little dreams that she sees, like little scenes in the dreams that she's trying to remember, and now you see them in the context that they were happening. Is so interesting. It's such good writing. Like chronologically everything makes sense and it's so good. Okay, so I am on flashback number 22. Things are heating up because I am so happy that Hermione is finally standing up for herself against Ron and Harry. Obviously I love Ron and Harry from like the books and the movies, but like in this fanfiction they're fucking annoying. They don't get what she's gone through and what she's doing. They don't, to be fair, they don't know what she's doing with Draco. The fact that she sold herself for them and they keep being so ungrateful, but they obviously don't know that's happening. And she finally stood up for herself. She was like, guys, you're all fucking delusional. We're losing this war. You're not seeing it. Your best friend is literally sold herself for these informations that you're getting. You're not winning the war because good is good and light is always gonna win and love conquers all. No. You're losing the war. Everyone is dying. You're not seeing it. She is. But because she's telling you, you need to start like maybe using dark magic because this is not enough. You're like, why are you such a bitch? Oh, that bothers me so much. Anyway, we still don't know to this day why he's spying. Why he's helping them. He has a motive that we don't know. I can't wait to know that. It's a very slow burn. They kissed really once. Like meaningfully once, and they were drunk. I had a little moment in the last couple chapters. It's crazy. I don't want to tell you what it is because I want you to read it for yourself. I'm gonna keep reading because this is long. One thing for sure, it's long. I really do love them. I love them. This is like as enemies to lovers as it would ever get. As enemies. I mean, they're not lovers yet. Slow burn enemies to lovers. This is the peak. They are so enemies. This doesn't feel like he will have a happy ending. It doesn't feel like happy ending material things. Do you know one thing that me and Emily always love? Emily is my best friend that reads just as much as me. Is an angry love confession. Do you know what I just read? One of the best angry love confession I've ever read. I hate that I'm loving it so much. What the fuck is going on?
Girl.
God, this is so stressful. I really wanted to hate him. I love him. Like, there's nothing I can say. And he's tending to her injuries once again, and she almost died, and he was so worried. But he's very possessive, and I hate that. I dislike when men are possessive, but that's how he is. And she's a bit of a martyr. She like loves trying to die for everyone else and sacrificing herself, and so I hate that. I hate that she's doing that because that's not fair on him, and I hate how possessive he is because let her breathe, you know? But you know what? Topsy is here. Topsy is in the flashbacks as well. I love this elf. I don't know why I love Topsy so much. Sorry, I'm at the beach, so if you hear the waves, enjoy the ASMR, I guess. Do you know one thing that I'm hating so much? You're mine, you're mine, you're mine. I'm reading You're Mine 15 times. I've had enough. I get bored when a couple gets together, but yeah, I just a little bit dislike the whole you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. You don't have to worry, I'll protect you, you're mine. enough. But I'm interested in how they're gonna lose the war. Like, I want to know how we're losing the war. How is everyone getting killed? How? Because things are not going well for the resistance, but how are they all gonna die all of a sudden? Is Draco actually gonna kill them all? Like, I'm interested in that. But yeah, I slightly bit dislike the whole you're mine thing. But I think that's gonna end soon because I don't have many flashbacks left, so. Okay, just showered, so my hair is wet. But we need to talk. So much has happened. I've finished all the flashbacks now. All the flashbacks are done. I got to see how the war ended, what happened. There was a plot twist that I was very happy to read because it was good. It was very good. But I'm very happy we're back into the real time. But obviously their relationship is fucked up. He's obviously married, but like he doesn't give a shit about his wife. I am scared of what's gonna happen because how are we solving this? This feels unsolvable, but we'll see. And everyone cries reading the end, so I'm so scared because what's happening at the end? I have like 5 chapters left. Let me go check. Yes, I'm on chapter 69 and I have 5 chapters left, and then I have, I think, the epilogues. I think there's 2 or 3 epilogues at the end. Lucius Malfoy came on. I'm gonna finish it probably tomorrow. I'm stressed because I actually don't really want to cry, and tomorrow I'm flying back to London. I don't want to cry on a plane in front of other people.
Welcome to this.
Okay, so I am back in London. So if you recognize this, yes, I'm back in London. So I read quite a lot on the plane. So I'm gonna update you before I finish it because I'm gonna finish it tonight. I only have the last 2 epilogues left. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy the last chapters that I've been reading. They've been dragging so much. It's been like slow, and it was very repetitive of like, I need to save you. You can't die. You can't leave me alone, Draco. You promised, Hermione. Over and over again. It could have been like cut down so much, but I need to like remember that this is not a book. I need to stop like having this is a great piece of work for a fan fiction, but for a book this would definitely be needed to like be cut down because it's way too long. They're very obsessive as a couple, and I hate that a little bit. But I'm not a fan of dark romance, and this is dark romance, you know what I mean? There's a trope that I don't like that is obviously about in this book. It was obviously gonna be in it, but I don't like how they did it. Obviously, like, I get what happened and I get why it happened. It still bothers me. Okay, you know what I'm talking about if you read the book. I'm gonna say it, skip to that. The whole fact that she's had a baby out of him assaulting her. And I know she couldn't remember and he was forced to do it, like he didn't want to. I know. It still kind of bothers me. I really hope I was right and it wasn't happening, but apparently it was. What are you guys crying about? Because I have not even had a moment of like thinking about tearing up. So either the last epilogue is gonna fucking kill me, or I just am not as attached as y'all. Is this fucking play about us? Because it's literally the 4th of August 2024 right now. I just finished it. Just like that, I finished it. Hello, okay. Also, my room is a mess because I just came back from Italy and I still haven't unpacked. Anyway, it's been over 24 hours that I finished Manacled. I have conflicting opinions. I don't know what to rate it. If it was a book, I think I would give it either 3.75, almost 4 stars. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not 4 stars, but I think it's not 3.75. So it's 3.8. Then maybe if I keep thinking about it, it would go up to a 4. I enjoyed the plot and I enjoyed that it was Handmaid's Tale kind of vibes. I've never cried. You know how everyone cries reading this? I don't know what you're crying about. I really cannot think about what you're crying about. The only thing that you could be crying about, maybe it's the last line was sad. Encapsulated in one sentence, what everyone thought of Hermione, which was so wrong. She was so much more than that, and they just belittled her to nothing. For a fanfiction, this is great. Don't get me wrong ever. This, for fanfiction, is incredible work. And then how some chapters ended, I was like, this was abrupt. Yeah, like sometimes like chapters would change subject abruptly, like in the middle of a conversation. I need closure. Skip to that if you don't want the spoiler bit. So my thoughts with spoilers is Ginny bothered me. Can I say it? Can I say it? Ginny bothered me. And she was mean to Draco. I know Draco was a fucking mass murderer. Okay, I see the red flag. I enjoyed the epilogues. I enjoyed their life after. I really did. And I enjoyed them having a baby, having a little girl. That was cute. Apparently Aurora, that's their daughter, wrote a book when Hermione and Draco died about, you know, how the story really went, how Draco was actually was a spy and Hermione is the one that saved everyone's ass. She wrote that book and she called it Manacled. So I think that what we read was Aurora's book, which I really enjoyed that. That was a very nice touch. That's what the author said, by the way. I didn't just come up with that theory. I'm not that smart. This is a very unpopular opinion. I think I would have enjoyed it more if Draco died. I mean, I'm happy they got their happy ending, don't get me wrong. But I think I would have enjoyed if he died. I know I've been saying all the things that I didn't like, but I actually really enjoyed it. I would have not given it 4 stars if I didn't enjoy it. Especially the flashbacks, the first 20 chapters of the flashbacks, I loved. I satisfied that FOMO that I had, and I satisfied that itch that I had, that I never gotten to do that, because 5 years ago, it was all over my For You page. 4 years ago, 2020, it was all over my For You page. Everything was about fucking Draco Malfoy, I swear to God. And with the song In My Blood by Ellie Goulding. And now I can go and see all the edits of Manacled. It feels like a reward. Oh, I'm actually excited for that. So I will see you in my next video. Please do like and subscribe. It helps a lot. I love you. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao.